what we might show today,
The Zodiac Killer.
right? What we might show today might show a little bit differently in terms that I believe Hillary Clinton was actually in on it. I believe getting Bernie Sanders out of the election was
Her job.
Yeah, was her job, and
Yeah.
she definitely did that successfully. Because I mean, really, when it comes down to it, Dave Chappelle said it the best. I really vote on the president based on their personality, not on their policies.
Yeah.
And out of all people, the only reason I would have voted for Bernie Sanders was, bro, he walked with black people during the marches. Like, he actually did. And to me, especially back then, like, you could be somebody who totally is, you could be, you could be black back in those days in America and it was bad. But if you were white and you stood up for black people back then, that was even worse. You know what I mean? So
That was bad for you.
exactly. And so to me, someone who did that during those times, I think has a lot of heart. So I would have been, I wouldn't have voted even if it was Bernie Sanders. At that time, I wouldn't have voted again, going back to what I was saying before. The reason why we voted was because I literally saw it as a Molotov cocktail towards the establishment, towards, the government. I actually thought, I'm going to put somebody who has nothing to do with any of you guys and just throw this guy into your office for you. Just try to help out with that, just to see what kind of ruckus he could start. That's literally what I wanted him to do. Almost like an anarchist view, sort of. Not really, but I just basically did that because I didn't believe he was part of the establishment. You know what I mean? When we talk about establishment, we're talking about the elitists, we're talking about corporations, things like that. And even though I don't think corporations and elitists are completely the same, I just feel that the powers that be didn't want him in office, which I think they played us. I really think they played us now. Big reason, if anybody knows of a gentleman named Robert Mercer, I believe. Let me pull him up on here so we can get that on screen. Robert Mercer, he actually was somebody that helped fund the Trump campaign. What's interesting, though, he runs a company called Renaissance Technologies. And if you look at this group, let's see, we're going to use... What was the company he was involved with? Let's see.
Renaissance.
I believe it's Renaissance.
You're going to have to add more than that.
I'm only pushing a few buttons. Okay. So one of the companies he was involved with, and I'm trying to remember the name. Let me just put Renaissance and then Robert Mercer. So I should be able to come up with a name on it. Renaissance Technologies. So basically this company actually has, as you can see right here, he's actually the co-CEO. I think there's actually like 5 or 6 co-CEOs of this company. But that gentleman right there, James Harris Simmons, down at the bottom right here, this guy was actually, I don't believe he's a CEO anymore. He actually handed it down to this gentleman. But this is actually one of the guys that Hillary Clinton was stating was actually campaigning or actually funding her campaign. But they worked for the same company. That was really, really interesting to me because I was like, okay, so what's going on with this company? So one of the things that it does is James Harris Simmons guy, he actually was a huge mathematician. One of the things that he did was during the Cold War, he actually was one of the guys during the Cold War that would break codes. So you remember back in the day, like World War I, World War II, you had like Morse codes. You'd have your code breakers, mathematicians, people that were like extremely smart that would break these codes to figure out what the enemy was basically relaying, in terms of in war. And basically this gentleman is extremely smart, came up with this company, has a bunch of co-CEO founders. And what's interesting, though, is Robert Mercer and him were funding 2 different sides.
Is that right?
It's almost like funding 2 sides of a war, right? It's almost like you have interest on both sides. And that's what really blew my mind was I believe that, there's more proof on this, but I actually believe that Hillary Clinton deliberately was put in place there to make sure that Bernie Sanders wouldn't get elected. And that now Hillary Clinton could be put in the place. They're financing both of them. Who cares? This is just a huge game. Why? It's because there's a group, right, that's called Cambridge Analytics. And what I'll try to do is I'll actually try to see if I can actually pull this up. We didn't have that on the whole time, right? Okay, perfect, cool. So, Cambridge Analytica, let's look into this company. Who are these guys? So, they are a privately held company that combines data mining and data analysis with strategic communication for the electoral process. Wow. So what these guys basically do, and they
That's
actually
their
have
whole job.
Right, that's their whole job. Wow, very, very interesting. They're actually so this is definitely an offshoot of the Renaissance Technologies, but Cambridge Analytica, basically they data mine. So they take information from every single American, right? and they'll take about 4 to 5,000 bits of information per American out of 230 million Americans, and there's 300 million Americans here right now. So that's crazy. So out of almost every single person in this country, they literally get information based off of what you say, based off of what you purchase online, based on what you search, based on what you say on your social media. So it's crazy to me to think that, wow, now this is where we're going in the political game. It's no longer about, I mean, it's so sad to say this, but it's political suicide if you end up saying, look, I'm going to say my own views. I'm going to do what I want to do. No, you better do what the people tell you to do, or at least act like it. And that's what's scary, is that he said all these things that, like, a lot of us, you know, it was a buzzword for us where we're like, wow, I actually want to go for you because you don't sound like you're part of the establishment. Wrong. Everybody was already talking about it. It was a regurgitation of information that we said, but it was said back to us. It's like fighting yourself in the mirror. How do you win that battle, that information battle? It's the craziest thing that these people did this. And so actually what I want to do too is here in a little bit, not right now though, you don't have to put it on the screen. I actually want to see if we can go to their website and see what they say. There should be a website here. I mean, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about, you know, some people say, well, I don't care that they get information from me. I'm not doing nothing bad. What do you think about that?
I don't like that. I think it's a really big invasion of my privacy. Collecting data from me without my knowledge, or like basically like they give you when you're trying to sign up for something, or you're using a new device, like they give you like this like you have to click yes to accept to use this program or whatnot, but in like the fine print of that, like, oh, we get to collect data from you, but only if you hit accept is the only way you can use this program, but you have to accept us collecting data from you. That's a big invasion of privacy, and I don't like having that taken from me all the time. And them, like, they're I don't know, just the data collection is just like very, very not cool to me, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And like when you're on Facebook or when you're searching on the web or on Amazon, and like things you've talked about will start to show up on Facebook. That's a form of data collection, basically. They're data collecting through what we're talking about vocally.
Let's go to the big screen here. So I'm on the website here. So Cambridge Analytica. That's not where we want to go. Chill out there, partner. Chill out there. Let's see. They got a .org website. Let's check that out. So there's a website. Data drives all we do. Cambridge Analytica use data drive to audience behavior. Visit our commercial or political. Ooh, let's go to the political. View the political. Let's just see what's on their website here. I've been there before. They've actually changed their website from the last time I've been there. We find your voters and move them to action. Whoa.
So you manipulate our voters.
California politicals, deem relationships, but known better as you. There are no longer any experts except Cambridge Analytica. Wow. Look at, they even got the Trump, John Bolton, Ted Cruz, all the people that actually they funded at the time, or not they funded, but 25 years supporting them in 100 campaigns. Wow. In 5 different continents. That's another interesting thing. They just don't do America. They actually do other countries. So that's very interesting. So, wow. And by the way, like, I'm sorry if I'm winging this. Like, I didn't even realize this. So let's think about this now. So when it comes to America and what we do in terms of creating third world countries, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, especially with the last comments that Trump made, that's crazy that they actually go in other countries and they influence campaigns. So if there's somebody in office in another country that isn't doing the things that we want them to do in that country, meaning our corporate political ties, meaning in America we have corporations and they basically put their businesses in other countries, and if they're not doing what we want them to do, then all these times that you hear about, you know, dictators and people that are doing these bad things to the people, we basically take those people out, or we make sure that they don't win their next election. That's crazy. And now they're in charge of that. Data-driven searches, let's see, they got research, data integration, audience segment, targeted advertising. Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah.
What do they say here? Donald Trump's campaign shifted odds by making big data personal. So they're basically saying that they had a huge hand in the election. Yeah. Our people. Wow, they're not even hiding any of this.
Because nothing they were doing is illegal.
I mean, is it really just all about the money? Like, That's scary. Okay, so let's exit from that one. Let's go to their SCL group because that was another affiliation that they had because they used both to actually run the campaigns. And ultimately, what we're trying to say here is that both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump used the same service. I personally believe that they deliberately heard what people wanted. They heard the opposition, they heard both sides, and they used it against everybody. And that's what they're going to do now every time. These are our elections now.
So they utilize the data to manipulate the elections in their favor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds about right.
Sounds about right. And basically just by regurgitating what we say. So really it isn't they're not really like manipulating the election, they're manipulating us. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. But they're utilizing data to manipulate us for commerce reasons, for political reasons, for, we want more people to buy these things. So we're going, based off of the data we've collected from what they're talking about or they're searching, we're going to send them things that are more about what they're talking about or what they're searching, the things they might be interested in. We're trying to get, like laws passed or policies put forward.
Put it on the big screen real quick too. Right, that's crazy. If you look at Strategic Communication Laboratories, right, SCL Group, because that's the other tie that they have, British Behavioral Research and Strategic Communication Company in the United States. SCL has gained public recognition mainly through its affiliated corporation, Cambridge Analytica. It performs data mining, data analysis on its audience. Based on the results of communication specifically targeted to key audience groups, to modify behavior in accordance of the goal of the SCL's client. It describes itself as a, wow, look at this part here. I think I can highlight it there. That's crazy right there. They are a global election management agency. They just straight say it. Wow, that's insane to think that. I mean, it's really gone this far in terms of data analysis. Like, this is why this is important, and this is why it's real. It's being hidden, even though these guys are putting it out online.
Yeah.
It's being hidden because when Trump, all you hear is about this whole Russia collusion thing. The reason why I hate it, people always say, why are you sticking up for Trump? Has nothing to do with that. You guys don't see the bigger picture here. You're worried about something that's fake in terms of this whole Russia collusion. Nothing will ever come of it. CNN has already admitted it's just good for ratings and nothing will come with it. It's just a big witch hunt, like they say. It really is. What is important is this. The SCL group, Cambridge Analytica, you guys need to understand, these guys, they shouldn't be allowed to do this. We need to start passing more laws that stop things like this. Because I think that the way that it is now, and it's hard to say, well, what can you do? What can you not do? It's un-American to not allow somebody to use money to push their campaign. I know, I get it, but you're using strategies like this that are manipulating the elections. We're never going to get somebody that's honest in there because they're only regurgitating the information that we're giving them through this group. They literally just said they're a global election management agency. That's crazy. So I just think that that's the bigger picture. If you want to talk about, manipulating the elections, that's bigger. Forget what this bullshit that they're giving you with Russia. I don't want to hear it no more. It's stupid. I could do a whole podcast just on that alone, on why that doesn't work. I spoke to hackers before. It's the dumbest. When you look at the entire story of two hackers hacking, and then what? They hacked and showed the information that Hillary was doing. That's like if I were to go, or you were to go, cheat. We would go cheating, and all of a sudden we come back and somebody's like, I have information on your guys, but we were cheating. Yeah, you have information. Hillary Clinton was doing the bullshit that she did, and she got caught. That's what they're saying is bad. That's how he won the elections. A hacker, Guccifer, went in and stole it. Bro, no. They were just showing what she was already doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know. I think that's a big deal in terms of how he got elected. That's definitely the number one reason I think that he got elected was through that. I believe Hillary Clinton was a part of it now. And that's pretty much it.